Like there was a point in my life when I was a teenager. I'm gonna say I was a sophomore, and I felt like I thought I was ready to come out, but at the same time, it seemed very trendy. Then again, social media wasn't a big thing when I was in high school, but it seemed like a lot of the girls in my grade or at that high school, a lot of them were suddenly lesbians as well.
Hmm.
Like a lot of the athletes from the softball teams and stuff like that. To where all of a sudden everyone was kind of coming out in like a group phase type of
Yeah.
thing. And so I was just like, well, I don't want to feel like I'm doing it because of that.
Hmm.
You keep overlooking life, but that's the biggest blessing. Just engage with who you are and throw the biggest wedding. Just think of this as food for thought. You feel I'm overstepping. I got a good degree in knowledge if it's ever question. I'd rather see you shining than a
Hey, hi,
diamond.
hello. Welcome to Chasing OK Life's Marathon, a podcast about anything and everything presented by LiveOK. LiveOK is centered around promoting mental health awareness. Visit Shop LiveOK, that's ShopLiveOK.com, where the proceeds go towards making a difference. Now let's get into it. All right. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the podcast. This is episode I Don't Know, but we do have a special guest for a special month. We'll get into that in a second. But do you want to introduce yourself?
What's up, everyone? I'm Angelica.
And I call her Angie.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah. You can call me Angie. A couple
the,
people call me Angel.
the only reason why I don't call you Angelica because I feel like I'm gonna mess it up. And it's a lot of syllables when we were playing.
It's a long thing to yell, and then when I do hear someone yelling it, it kind of triggers like my mom
Oh.
yelling at me because she's the only one that yells it out like that. So it's not an easy name to yell when you're playing football.
Gotcha. And for those that don't know, yes, she plays flag football with me, like Austin and Michael and pretty much everybody else that has been on the pod. Because it's a great community, a great spot for everybody. Especially when nobody's taking it too seriously. Um, but so we do have Angie. So where are you from?
I am from El Paso, Texas, born and raised. But when moving to Dallas, I moved from San Antonio. I lived there for about 10 years, so I think I moved there. I moved to San Antonio in 2013. I went there for school, and I graduated within a few years. And then after that, I just ended up staying there. And once I hit my 10-year mark, I was just at a place in my life where I was ready to try a new city, and Dallas had its opportunity. So now I'm here. I think this is my, when did I move here? We're 2025. I think I moved here in 2023 of January. Yeah, that's a 10-year mark. So,
So you've been in Texas this whole time?
my whole life, yeah.
I've only been in Texas collectively 2020, 2025, 2013, 2016. So 8 years?
Years. And it's always been the DFW area.
Yep. I was in Denton for UNT. And then when I moved back, I was in Farmers Branch, Addison, and then I've been in Louisville for the past 3 years.
Yeah, when I moved here, I moved straight to Frisco. Was there for a year. Moved to Carrollton for a year, and then now I'm back in Frisco. But was University of North Texas what brought you to Texas? Or
Yes. So my cousin, uh, so I was debating between North Carolina Central, where my other cousin went, and UNT. UNT wasn't really in the cards, but my cousin, who's 13 days older than me, um, was like, "Hey, you should come to UNT." I was like, "I know nothing about the state. I have nobody but you here. Um, but I'll apply, and if I get accepted, then we'll see." And it was, um, I applied to both. I applied to Central and I applied to UNT. And I said, whichever one accepts me first, or whichever letter I get first, then that's where I'm gonna go. Um, and UNT's acceptance letter, I saw that first, and then Central's came. But the summer after my first semester, I went back home and we were like rearranging, and I found a letter from UNT under the couch, and it was a denial.
oh,
So I got denied first, but I sent in all the stuff like write an essay, do all this other extra stuff before I even saw that. So I sent everybody a letter, my application and everything like more than the requirements. And yeah, I just found that denial um the summer after, and I was like, if I saw that denial, then I probably would have been at Central, and uh my life probably would be different.
Yeah, it's interesting how those things work, and it's crazy to you took such a gamble on just like a click, like whoever gives me an acceptance letter
Yeah.
first. That's how I ended up in San Antonio in a way. I was finishing up my associate's degree while I was working back home in El Paso, and I was getting ready to graduate. And that last semester, I went to go talk to my counselor and asked her like, "What should I do next? Like, what's the next steps from here? What college should I go to?" And she said, "As long as you stay in Texas, you can transfer wherever you want." So me just not really thinking it through, I went and Googled like best business schools in
Mm.
Texas, and St. Mary's in San Antonio popped up. I just applied to that one. I kind of threw all my chips in that one, and I got accepted. They gave me a scholarship. They accepted a transfer scholarship of mine, and still was a very expensive school. But the way it all turned out, like if I didn't do that, without doing my due diligence. Because if I did my due diligence, I would have ended up staying probably at UTEP or going to UTSA
Mm.
because those are public schools and it would have been cheaper. But I ended up going to a private school, and so I ended up paying more. But all the people and all the things I learned through that whole path, it was literally what led me to this couch. Essentially, you could think of it that way. So the same with yours.
Yeah.
You ended up in Texas.
Yeah. I mean, if you change one butterfly effect, you change one thing, the whole course of your life changes.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did. I mean, obviously, uh, different things in your life can lead to different aspects. But before we go any further, I forgot to mention what we're drinking on today. She is
Sober.
oh, I didn't want to say sober. I feel like when you say
It gives a negative
sober, yeah,
connotation, and we don't need that. I'm sober by choice.
alcohol free.
Yeah, I'm doing 75 hard, so it's just a diet. But I don't drink a lot anyways anyway. So
Okay. Well, I only
drunk.
drink mainly on the pod, and I haven't had anything yet. You keep
Oh,
kicking my can.
I'm sorry. I can't sit still.
Nah, you're fine.
It's a show.
Is I just edit out all the jumps. But we are drinking, or I am. This was a gift, a regift from Angie. It is Old Elk. It is a blended straight bourbon whiskey, 45% alcohol, 88 proof. And it is from Colorado. I think that's what CO is, Colorado. I don't
Oh
have
yeah.
any history on it. It does have a history on the back of it. And if I want to include it, maybe I will, maybe I won't. Because I'm trying to do a current event and add some context to what we're drinking. Um,
Oh, like why
Especially
she's
if,
drinking it?
well, kind of like a why, but like if it has any significance. Like there's a bottle in there that was made by the cast of Best Man with Tay Diggs, Morris Chestnut, and all them. So that had some background to it. Uh,
Is it good?
yeah, I like it. It's called Sable. It was on the pot already. But other than that, yeah, that's what we're drinking on. It has a cool little cork. It's like wood. I don't know which one has the better angle. Also, we're working with 3 cameras today. We're trying to get my perspective, her perspective. I'm trying to stay out of her shot and then the group perspective. Trying to get that production up, trying to get those subscribers up. We are at 59. We need 100 so that y'all can make money. 150 goes to one of you lucky 100 subscribers, and we'll just keep pushing. I'm not begging. I'm just asking.
Is it whoever is the 100th
No,
subscriber or?
I'll put all the subscribers in like a raffle spinny thing, and then whoever it lands on gets the lucky money.
Oh, okay, hasn't Michael
Yeah,
and didn't other
Michael
people pitch in for it?
Michael added 50 and Ant added 50. Are you about to add 50? You don't have to, no
I'll think
pressure.
about it. We'll see.
It might be 200. But we're currently at 150 for the 100. And yep. So we're drinking Old Elk, and let's continue on.
I'm drinking this Recess adaptogen sparkling something. They're
Like
really good.
sparkling like cider, not cider,
Hmm.
but like
No, they put
water.
like magnesium and stuff in it, so where you do feel something off of it.
You're tricking your taste buds into thinking you're drinking.
I guess in a way, it doesn't taste like alcohol. I don't need to trick myself into drinking or
It's no,
anything.
but it's like a seltzer. Like, don't you know you got White Claw and
Oh yeah,
Truly? Is it like
I guess
one
something
of
like
those type of
that. It's just
adaptions?
not as sparkly.
Okay.
They're really good.
Yeah, you bought two of them. This is another one of her that she bought. Are you sponsored or do you
Mhm.
sell
No,
these?
I wish we did because I feel like I'd get a discount on them. But no, so these are the ones you can get like in health and food aisle. They're really good. And then those ones in the same aisle, but those are meant to be more like mocktails for people who do want to feel like they're take drinking a cocktail. And
Okay.
I just had that in my fridge, but I usually just like the regular sparkling waters.
Okay. Cool. So you kind of touched on it a little teeny bit. What do you do?
So I work in marketing, more on like the tech operation side. So I work for a beverage company where we sell all types of drinks from coffee, energy drinks, water, sodas. But I work more on the marketing tech side where I pretty much analyze all of our retailers' platforms to see how we can connect our systems to theirs to try to build a syndication channel to where we can essentially just publish all of our marketing content directly to their website at the click of a button versus having to find a team on the back end to upload it manually and do all types of coding and stuff. I try to find the simple ways to get it on site. So it's currently my
Sounds like a lot,
it is
but you
um
enjoy it.
I enjoy it. Right now I'm kind of overwhelmed with some of the stuff that I was doing because we're short staffed to where I just feel like I'm doing a lot of things out of my scope and I can't really give my main focus its my full capacity.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's always frustrating because it's something that I'm putting my name on, so it's hard for me to present out work that I don't feel 100% satisfied with, but
Mm.
I guess it's just something I gotta just work on
Roll
and
with it.
yeah, you just gotta roll with the punches and just see how things change just with the whole economy and everything like that. Just grateful to still have a job and I make the most of it. And it's a big learning curve and it's an industry I threw myself into from
Mm.
sales and so I was able to talk my way into getting a position like that even though had no idea what to do, but I figured it out and it's something I'm very confident in myself in where I'm pretty good at figuring shit out for myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a fun job. I could learn a lot, and it introduced me to a whole nother side of the industry when it comes to like AI and technology and marketing. So I enjoy it.
That's dope. I'm glad you enjoy it. And sales is the one job that like I can do anything on this earth except for sales. I hate trying to pitch people things.
I agree. I'm an introvert for the most part. I just know how to turn it on when it comes to work.
Hmm.
But the sales that I've grown to enjoy is more of like the entertaining, like in maintaining relationship
Hmm.
styles. But initially, when I first started, right out of college, I was in sales. And it was like the door to door type of
Yeah, I
sales.
can't do that.
And that destroyed me. I could not do it. Like having to force myself to talk with people every other 10 minutes and everything. It was a learning experience, but at the same time, like if it's not for you, it's not for
Yeah.
you. That's how I feel about with people going to school and stuff. Like if it's not for you, it's not for you, and that's okay. Don't force yourself because you're just gonna be miserable, and
Mm.
life's too short to be miserable.
Yeah. And it's kind of like I spoke on it before. Trying to going to college or deciding your path at 18 is like a tall
Yeah.
task, especially if like nobody knows what they want to do at 18. I'm 30. I still don't know what I want to do.
Same.
I have like the drive of what I want to do, but I'm like I might change my mind. Like people, I don't. Maybe growing not growing up, but like past generations, they were like forced to get this job, do this, do that, and nowadays it's just if you don't like it, quit, find something else.
Yeah, I think, and well, I think for some people too, it's more of like a class structure where some people don't have the luxury of just being able to quit what they're doing
Yeah.
to go try something else. But I also there's this quote I always have to tell myself because it's one of those ones that just it slaps you in the face whenever you're conflicted about choosing to do something different, and it's more of like what you're not changing, you're choosing, and so it's just something where like you can complain all you want about
Yeah.
your circumstances, but if you're
You,
not going to sit there and identify the issues and change them, then
yeah.
you're choosing to stay in those, and it always slaps you in the face when you put it in that perspective. So
I've heard that quote multiple times, and actually I heard it today. Um, I don't know what I was watching or doing, but I heard it today. and it speaks volumes, and it applies to a lot of different aspects in your life. Um, Especially like obviously in jobs, but in relationships too. Like
Mm.
if y'all in a bad relationship, or if you think you're settling, just leave, do something else. I
Yeah.
mean, I know it's hard, but if you stuck, you stuck. Try not to be stuck.
Yeah. And then, well, I don't know if there's times where my algorithm takes me to this part of social media where it just seems like it's a gender war where there's guys saying like women ain't shit, and then there's women saying men ain't shit, and then I think I don't know. It takes you really have to be bold to get on the internet to make such a general statement
Mm,
about the opposite gender or just in general some like a certain type of person and just to say like all of them ain't shit and not
yeah,
actually reflect on yourself to be like, are you sure they're all none of them ain't shit or
or you ain't
the
shit.
ones you keep picking
Yeah,
are literally the same person just with different names and
true.
you're choosing the same experience
Yeah,
over and over
you
again.
got you got you got a type, and that type is defining your entire
Yeah.
relationship. Yeah, so hey, pick the right person. That's why.
Message.
That's why. Since you said it, have you seen Don't Be a Minister
Yeah,
Society? Yeah,
that's where
you
I got
did.
it
Yeah.
from.
Y'all need to listen to those messages. But shoot, I just lost my train of thought. What was I saying?
Relationships,
Relationship.
choosing, paying attention to the little messages.
I forgot what I was talking about. But I'll get back to it if I think of it. Um. But yeah. Choose. Oh, that's okay. That's what I was gonna say. That's why I don't have a kid right now. You don't have any kids, right?
No.
And that's why you see, I want to choose who my child's mother is. Like I don't want to have a kid with some rando and then she beating me up or begging
That's
for
not
child
funny.
support. I Yeah, and also just to get a little bit off topic, y'all are way too involved in other people's lives. Like because I said I want to choose who I want to have a kid with, it made me think of the DDG and Haley Bailey situation. Y'all way too involved in their lives. Y'all don't know her side. Y'all don't know his side. Y'all just let them parent their own kid how they want to parent. I don't believe in um sole custody unless the child's other parent is like abusive.
Yeah,
But I don't know their sides.
it's just hard to believe. Like, unless it's something like that, where you like that other person or one of the parents is super abusive
Mm,
or just unfit, like, drug addict or something, to where like they shouldn't be around any children in
yeah,
general. But other than that, I don't see how you can say like you fully love your child and you willingly are open to taking away from the opposite parent.
yeah, and
And you,
it's
yeah, so it's one of those things where either way, whether it's the male taking from the female or vice versa, just to take that part of a child's, growing up away from them,
yeah.
it's kind of shitty.
And this happens most of the time at like a young age, so they can't really decide on what they want to do. And then when they turn 18, they be like, "Mom, you took me away from my dad. I hate you," or "Dad, you took me away from mom. I hate you." And it's hard, and courts shouldn't be the ones to make that decision. Luckily, my not luckily, my mom and dad weren't like together, but they never had like a custody dispute. So I got the best of my mom and I got the best of my dad with them both being there. I think parents should be involved. Both sides should be involved in the child's life. Um, but yeah, we're getting a little off topic of what I wanted to do. Um, but that's what happens when you have a conversation, and that's what I want this to be, a conversation. But shoot, we're a few minutes in, and I didn't ask you the icebreaker because the ice has been broken. Do you
I
prefer?
talk a lot.
No. Would you prefer deep ocean or deep space, provided you have the necessary materials to survive for at least 30 days?
And I'm gonna come back.
Maybe that hasn't been added to the uh to the
um,
question, but just to give you some hindsight, the tally is deep space at 5 and deep ocean at 1.
yeah, with good reason. I definitely would go with deep space than deep ocean. Just I don't know.
Hold up, so you hold up. I'm making sure I got that right.
Yeah,
Yep, deep space.
everyone chose deep
Everybody don't
space
trust deep
versus
space.
deep ocean. Yeah, whoever chose the ocean. Who chose the ocean?
I don't know. It probably was me.
No, I don't know. I feel like the ocean, it's one of those things where they only were able to explore a certain amount of it because they got scared. And so they decided, like, let's not go any deeper.
Yeah, but that like there's a so obviously there's a lot more space than there is deep ocean, but there's a lot left under there that is scary.
Yeah, that's what I was just, I wouldn't want to be, at least in space, like, maybe you'll see some asteroids come around,
Yeah,
but I doubt I'm going to see any type of crazy creature just right there at the window versus
yeah.
in deep space. We've seen how some of those things look down there.
Hey, I'm pretty sure mermaids are real. They just don't look like uh, Ariel. I think they look like those mythical depictions that you see in like random stories. Those like scary things with they look like vampires with tails.
Okay, yeah, I hear you. All right, yeah, probably. I definitely think movies romanticize a
Yeah,
lot of those weird shits where you're just like, oh, if I saw this in real life, I'd run.
yeah. Well, swim, especially if it's underwater.
Oh, that's another thing. I'm not a good swimmer either, so I can't fuck with the ocean like that. I just gotta, I'll take my chances in space.
I can swim. I just don't like being. Well, I think one of my brothers picked deep ocean. Honestly, um, but like I don't know, being left to your like own devices and being scared of what might eat you. That's the main thing of the question. Like, what's gonna eat me?
Yeah.
Is an alien gonna abduct me, or am I gonna get, excuse me, eaten underwater by some
Yeah.
kraken?
Yeah, and that's the thing too, where that's what I'm saying. Am I gonna get to come back? Because I'm trying to think of if I'm gonna have all the necessities to survive and just be out there for 30 days. I wouldn't mind exploring space for 30 days because I feel like very few people get to do that.
Yeah,
Ocean, enough people explore to know there's a lot that they haven't seen under there, and
yeah.
so I don't know. And then what was the whole thing? Was it Ocean Gate last year with the submarine people
Oh yeah,
that took a little
the
Xbox game down?
Titan submersible. Yeah, that was stupid. They took something like a little Xbox controller and like it just wasn't meant to be that deep.
They had so much money, like the amount of money those people spent to do that,
Yeah,
and just no one thought it through. Like, an
yeah,
Xbox controller to go
yeah.
down.
Like it was, especially like if you got that much money, you want to make sure it's structurally sound.
mm,
Like you don't want to. It was it imploded or yeah, imploded.
I just
Yeah.
don't think I'd be taking risks like that if I had that much money.
Hmm.
Like
Well,
for sure I'd skydive and stuff like that, but to go in like a small canister with a bunch of people
Mr. Musk wants to go colonize Mars.
and like they didn't have any successful testings done on those submarine things. Like all
They said
the
just like we failed.
yeah.
Let's go. That's wild. How? That's wild.
Maybe it was just a setup and they just bought like a passport to go start new life somewhere because it's hard to believe someone's that stupid.
Yeah, that's wild.
But I mean,
That's wild. All right, let's get into the thick of things. Um, I touched on it briefly. So we got who you are, where you're from, and what you do. Um, are you currently dating?
I am not. No.
Are you looking? Or are you trying, self love?
Both actually. I'm definitely in a phase of life where I'm constantly just prioritizing the things I want to do and just finding ways to consistently love myself. But I'm always open to meeting somebody. It's just I'm definitely not actively looking. Like I don't have any apps downloaded or anything like that. But I'm always open to conversations
Yeah,
to see.
can't do the apps. The apps are
They're horrible. I will say I am lucky that the few people that I have met through an app, the dates weren't horrible or anything. It just nothing worked out from it.
yeah,
But wasn't horrible compared to some of the stories I've heard from people. But there's been like out of first time I tried an app was I'm gonna say like 5 years ago. Within 5 years, maybe I've been on 3 dates. Definitely gotten like attention from people,
yeah.
but the type of people that be on those apps, you're just like,
Get away
do you
from me.
see yourself? Maybe it's just because I see it as a like you gotta market yourself on those
Yeah,
things. So like the type of pictures people be posted on there and stuff like Who are you trying to attract?
Yeah, I had to get off of them. I was like, my pictures aren't great enough. I don't take a lot of pictures. Like, my pictures
Same.
aren't good enough. I guess my bio ain't great. It's like, yeah, I'm just tired of this. Gotta,
I'm definitely someone, I don't post a lot or take a lot of pictures to where, but I'm really fun in person. I will say that.
yeah,
I've been told I'm cool in person. But I just, you're not going to get much personality online. I don't even like being online like that. So
yeah. I try to stay off social media, but it's hard. It's addicting, especially when you're not doing much throughout the day. Um,
I go there for like the comedy of it. There's
it's
a
a lot.
lot of funny shit on there where
Yeah,
it definitely makes my day.
yeah. It's very comical, but and it's a lot. But you said you're not actively looking, which is good. But like I said, I touched on it briefly. This month is Pride Month, and you are
Mhm.
a member of the alphabet community. I say
Damn,
alphabet because there's too many letters.
I agree.
Which letter are you specifically?
I am an L, I guess, but I'm like a millennial gay. So just growing up, we just always refer to each other as, oh, you're gay, you're gay. But I completely understand why individual terms exist.
Mm,
I just think there needs to be a limit on certain things. And so
yeah.
we leave it at the LGBTQ plus. No more after that
Yeah,
because
yeah, I
it's just
was
a lot.
confused. I saw like I was when I was working at Target, I think I saw like a book that said like LGBTQ and there was like another letter and then plus. And I was like, what's that letter stand for? And what's the plus? But I guess there's just so many things. Um
It's a spectrum.
yeah, everybody, has their own lane.
Yeah,
I'm
and
not
that's understandable. It's just to constantly, I don't want to say make up, but try to, categorize yourself into something different than what's already out there.
mm,
When everyone's doing it, it's hard to, not everyone's going to keep up with it because it's just not a priority to them. And I don't think people mean any harm by
yeah.
gendering somebody or anything like that. But it's just when there's constant changes, not everyone's keeping up with trends or just up to date things in that aspect, especially if they're not part of the community. Like there's other things that just take priority over them making sure they have a full understanding of the gay community when maybe they don't have that many gay friends or just their gay friends just call themselves gay. So
Mm,
things like that is just I see like both sides to it where it's a lot, but I understand why it's needed
yeah.
in some aspects.
I understand. And you kind of touched on it a little bit. Just cause, like if I see a very masculine looking woman and I say, "Sir," I'm not trying to like offend you. Like I don't think this ever happened to me. But we're not trying to people that I'm pretty sure it's been done multiple times. But no, nobody's trying to offend you. Like you can easily just correct and be like, "I'm a woman." Uh, so address me as such and be like, "Oh, I'm sorry. My fault." But some people don't just accept the "oh, my fault." They gotta get into it. Like, no, you,
Start
blah, blah, blah.
recording and
Yeah,
like you're a
just,
homophobe and blah blah blah, and it's
like, yeah, calm
just
down.
breathe.
A lot of people need to calm and take a step back and just look at themselves because not everything's not that serious. Um, but not I somewhat drew a blank, but I have a question in my head. Oh no, not a question necessarily, but I think I brought it up before. Why don't guys have a cool name? Like they just gay, but y'all girls are lesbian. Why can't guys be like something cool?
um, I don't know. I mean, I guess just.
Or is there something out there that I'm not aware of?
I mean, I wish I had the answers, but I promise. Like, I'm a lesbian, but I'm not like a elder gay that knows all the
She
history
is
like that or
the
anything.
representative of the
I
entire
don't represent you.
community.
Sorry, I'm gonna try my best to represent us, y'all. But I'm about to be 33. Like I just my mind's focused on a lot of other things. But I don't know. I mean, I think if it was something they'd want to change, I think they would.
Hmm.
Just given that, we have multiple, like the
Yeah.
LGBT. I think if it was something that they didn't enjoy, or not enjoy, but like it wasn't something that I think it's more of like a term of endearment now
Yeah.
after it being used against them for so long. Like they kind of embraced it and now they wear it with pride. Go Pride Month. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I think if they wanted to, they could change
Yeah.
it.
So I have two follow-ups. So gay originally just meant happy, like in the dictionary it meant happy. I don't know the history. I'm pretty sure you don't know the history, but do you think that um like when somebody like the first person say, "Oh, that guy's gay," they're just like, "Oh, he's just a little too happy."
Maybe, yeah, because I think, um, well, I will say, I think in a way you have to be somewhat judgmental
Hmm.
of someone's personality to lean towards assuming their sexuality just based off their demeanor. So if someone's a little too happy and everything, to assume that they're gay, it's kind of like a red flag in a way. But I don't, I don't know why the first person would use that term. I'm assuming it might be connected as kind of when you see, have you ever seen like a very flamboyant gay
Hmm.
man? And they're just life of the party, just
Yeah.
everything. I guess that's kind of like the happy version of it, to where maybe that was kind of the first person that type of personality was like, oh yeah, that guy's gay.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And then maybe it was just, I don't know. I feel like it was a commonly used word, like yeah, we're all gay, because isn't
Yeah.
it in songs like
Yeah.
holiday songs and stuff?
Hmm.
So I think it's something where that one guy who happened to be gay or like men
Hmm.
just happened to be very like happy and stuff like that too. So like they called him gay, and then they started associating him liking men with
With
that
the term.
term, and then eventually it's just people didn't want to be happy no more because they didn't want to be called gay, and
That's funny. They're just gonna be angry all the time.
yeah, little haters. Just go be happy.
If anybody knows the actual reasoning behind homosexual people being called gay,
We can Google it.
comment.
Oh, that's what you need. You need like an assistant.
Assistant Googler, be like, "Hey,
Yeah.
Google it." Um, I was on another podcast where I was the Googler because it was over Zoom, and
Hmm.
like every time a topic would come up, I was on my computer. I was like, "Let me figure this out." So I was that Googler. It's called the D1 podcast, D1 Ignite podcast. One of my friends runs it. Um,
I feel like a bad lesbian for not knowing the history of where the term gay came
do
from.
you know the history of where lesbian came from?
I do not know.
It probably derived from some Latin word. Um, and
Isn't it all derived from like Greek words too?
yeah, everything. Uh, but before you came over, I was thinking of like what the title of this episode was going to be, and I was like, let's be honest.
That's a good one. That's a good pun. It's
Yeah,
used all the time. Like, just let's be honest.
yeah.
A lot of times, like gay women will like use that as kind of an icebreaker with straight women. Like,
Mm.
just test the waters. There's a thing about gay women that some gay women like to pursue straight women, so they just be like, let's be honest. You want to hit us up, blah blah blah. Not me though. I don't pursue straight women. But
I think I've seen that a lot, and you kind of touched on something else I wanted to talk about. Um, don't judge me, people. And this is not my thoughts whatsoever, and don't judge me based on what I just said because I said that. Don't go on the loophole of like, oh, he hates people. Um, why is it that girls can, go from dating guys, they can be bi or whatever, but it's more acceptable for a girl who's been dating guys all their lives to, just go over to the girl side. But you don't see that with guys. Not a lot. Like they I know some guys are like when they're gay, like they have beards called beards.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they have their beards and then, when they finally have their breaking point, they're like, you know what, I'm gay, let me just be gay. Um but for ladies, I feel like sometimes y'all just be like, I've had a dick, I've had a dick, I've had a dick, and not like you know, y'all know what I mean. I've had dick after dick after dick. Let me go over here because I think I'll be treated better.
I feel you, and that's kind of like a growing pain. I get what you mean. You meant more of like I've dated all these men, and like
Mm,
now let me try women. I've literally had girls hit on me like that. And that's why I can't really get onto those dating apps because there'll be like these very beautiful women and they hit on me. We start talking and then it's like they start saying how like I would technically be their first girl and or they're just tired of men. Or some girls are on there and that's what their profile literally says, like they're sick of men
Yeah.
and they want to date women. And I mean there's women out there that are willing to date straight women. And sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know. I don't know. I just, for me, if I'm going to date somebody, I want a genuine connection. And so it's hard to think that someone who isn't gay, I can make that genuine connection with off the bat like that. I definitely think that there's people who have always been open to the idea of bisexuality, but maybe the opportunity just never presented itself. Like they've been in a healthy relationship with the guy, so there's no need to wonder anything. But
Yeah.
maybe it ended, and now they're open to dating a woman. So, but like it's not something where it's always like a it's like a blurry line because you don't want to assume someone's just doing it for attention or because they are sick of men, unless they actually like upfront say it, like they just want to try women because they don't want like men no more. But I don't know. You just don't want to assume that about someone because you never know what their circumstances were.
Mm.
Maybe they're a late bloomer and maybe their environment was something where they never felt safe coming out, so they've constantly dated men. So
So that I think that
I feel like I didn't answer your
no,
question. I
you
went into
kind
like
of
a
did.
tangent on something.
No, you kind of did. Based on your last response. Cause like I said, it's more or was, I don't know about it now. It was probably more socially acceptable for, women to date women and a little bit harder for guys. So
Mm-hmm.
based on circumstances and atmosphere, guys would probably, be like, I'm not gay, I'm not gay, I'm not gay. Uh, just fighting their own things, and then finally they get to that breaking point. Not really breaking point, but uh, they finally accept it, and then like, and they're like, okay, then, you know, I'm old enough. Like I don't care what people say. Like I'm just gonna be gay.
Yeah, but there is a thing where I feel like I've noticed online too, where a lot of celebrities or just social media influencers like it's easy for them to just, for women at least, they can use other women as props and like, kiss up on each other and, tap into that side of social media where they can just get more followers to the gay community as well too.
Hmm.
Like if that's what they want to do, that's an easy way for women to do it. Whereas men, I don't think it's as easy for them to fake it because it's just, I don't know. I don't know. It's more of like a psychology question, but I mean, it's kind of a good thing that men won't fake it to just get those followers. It
Mm.
kind of gives more authenticity to it. But I don't know. I just remember like there was a point in my life when I was a teenager. I'm gonna say I was a sophomore, and I felt like I thought I was ready to come out, but at the same time, it seemed very trendy. Then again, social media wasn't a big thing when I was in high school. But it seemed like a lot of the girls in my grade or at that high school, a lot of them were suddenly lesbians as well.
Hmm.
Like a lot of the athletes from the softball teams and stuff like that. To where all of a sudden everyone was kind of coming out in like a group phase type of
Yeah.
thing. And so I was just like, well, I don't want to feel like I'm doing it because of that.
Hmm.
Because I'm not like I just feel like I do like I just always kind of knew I was gay. So when that was happening, that kind of pushed me back into the closet because it just made me seem like it wasn't the perfect timing for it,
Hmm.
which is a weird way to think about it. But again, I was like 15, 14. So, but it does have an impact that I don't think a lot of people realize when it seems like when something doesn't look authentic, it kind of diminishes the value of what the community tries to hold within each other, I
Hmm.
guess, because when and I'll just use women as an example, but when straight women do it online and maybe they're doing it to promote their OnlyFans, or like I said, just to reach a more of a community and make it seem like they're gay when they're not, and maybe more lesbians will follow them. Um, it's one of those things where it kind of just takes away from the fact that there are a lot of lesbians out there that just want to meet genuine lesbians and date with each other. They don't want to use you or take advantage of the fact that I think there's an issue too where some women do want that companionship, so they're willing to date
Hmm.
a woman who's not really gay, but like they'll tolerate it. So I don't know. It's just a weird gray area where because it's all like based on your own perception of your own sexuality, like
Mm.
it's hard to even really put an opinion on it or comment on it because like it's your sexuality, it's your life.
Yeah.
It's how you want to do it, but at the same time you can't help but pick up on the things that just don't make sense.
Yeah. It's a lot to unpack.
It is, and I feel like I think I have ADHD because I can't go into structure. You might have to edit this.
You're fine. Um, but you touched on it a little bit as well. So we're gonna segue into you coming out. Um, a two-part question. Um, why do they call it coming out of closet? And when did you decide? I know you said you pushed yourself back in because of the trending, but when did you decide that
There was time.
yeah.
Um, when I came out, I was think like 19 or maybe I just turned 20. So growing up, I didn't date a lot like at all. I never brought any guys home. And the I think around when I was 17, I was getting to that point where I was about to finish high school and everything. Like I was still like a virgin and all that to where I was trying to just understand exactly what I wanted because I did try to come out like I said around the time my sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
And I even told one of my sisters and it definitely helped get some weight off my shoulder, but um I told her in confidence and then she did happen to tell one of her friends on the softball team that her friend I remember her friend approaching me literally like an hour later when we're going in between classes. And so I kind of that also pushed me back in the closet because I was like I did not want to like hard launch into high school
Yeah.
as a lesbian or anything. Like I was just trying to figure out my own sexuality still. Um so I ended up going back in the closet. And then I tried to experiment with guys when I was like 17 and it just didn't work out. Like there was
Didn't feel
nothing there.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, all right, I think I'm pretty gay. And then, um, very cliche, I left for college and there wasn't anyone that I met at college or anything
Mm-hmm.
like that that was like, well, that helped me come out. But my partner, right when I was leaving for college, this I started getting close with this girl who ended up being like my partner for like 7 years. But her and I started getting close, and we weren't officially dating because I was getting ready to leave for
Mm-hmm.
college, and but we ended up doing like the long relationship thing. So I technically started dating her when I left for college, but she was back home in El Paso, and I was in San Antonio, and we didn't start dating right off the bat, but eventually, maybe like that following semester when I went home for the summer and we started becoming more official, I think eventually it was just like I just need to tell my family. And thankfully, I am very lucky and grateful that my family is very, very cool with it. And I think it's because, well, like my oldest sister, when I told her, she kind of was, her and I have a really good relationship in general. So she pretty much told me that she kind of always knew, and
Mm-hmm.
it was just a matter of me saying something. But she's like, I was just waiting for you on your own time. So that was very nice. My other sister, who is a year older, the one that lives here, I'm very close with her as well. She was kind of the same boat. She's like, yeah, like she kind of knew already. She just didn't like who I was dating at the time. That was her issue. She's just like anyone but her. And then, but when I told my mom, I never feared that she would hate me or anything like that. I was just always, I guess the biggest thing I was scared about was how which is what she would say to me
Yeah.
because my mom's very tough. Like she raised us all on tough love. She was raised on really tough love, so she's one of those people that she can be very caring, but she's hard to pet. Like
Mm-hmm.
but when I told her, she kind of said too like the same thing. She's like kind of always knew because I never brought any guys home, and she just said that she's like as long as they treat you right and they love you, you love them, then
Yeah.
I'm happy. But then again, the one person that I did end up committing to for like a very long time, none of them were happy. But they supported me through it all,
Hey, that's good.
so it worked out. But I was very lucky. I know I'm very my circumstances are very rare. It's not as always an easy situation for people coming out. whether it's female or male or just whatever they're choosing to come out as, whether they're trans, it's not an easy thing, and it's not always a safe environment for some people to come out. And so I have an exceptional story for the most part. Um, and I'm very thankful for that. And I think the biggest part of it too was just, I think my family just knew, because I'm very, um, what's the term? Not reclusive, but I can be very independent. Like I can go off on my own for like weeks at a time. I just up and left when I went to college.
Yeah.
Nobody knew what I was gonna do until literally a few weeks before I left, and I didn't even have all my ducks in a row. I just knew I needed to go, and classes
Just get out
started
of
this
here.
day. So my sister dropped me off one weekend. I didn't even have a dorm ready for me or anything. She was very
It's like, I'm
upset.
on campus.
Yeah, I was like, just leave me here. I'll figure it out. And I did. Like I ended up getting into a dorm and stuff, but it was very, I guess they kind of knew, like, they really had no choice but to accept me if they still wanted me to be a
Yeah.
part of their lives, because I'm very, like, I can up and go. But my family loves me. We're close, just because we don't really have, like, a lot of extended cousins or anything, so
Mm.
it's a very small, very close family, and so I'm very grateful that I didn't have to go through that on top of, like, other types of childhood trauma. Like, that
Yeah.
was a very,
Getting disowned.
mm-hmm, yeah, so that was a very joyful experience.
That's good. I'm glad you had a good coming out experience. Um, but to answer my second part of that question, do you understand the coming out of the closet part? Like, did they find like the first homosexual person in the closet came out of the closet? Like,
I
why
have
the
a
closet?
feeling like the term has to do with just like gay men and fashionista type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think a lot of the original gay terms and quotes all originated kind of from like gay men,
Mm-hmm.
and then as more like people started coming out, like women and
Yeah.
everything like that, also realizing that they like can be attracted to women and stuff. I think the terms just got adopted universally. So I have a feeling it pertains to just like gay men in fashion,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I feel like I've seen a movie where they made a joke about coming out the closet
Closet.
too. It might have been. Have you heard of Tu Wong Fu?
Yeah, with like Wesley Snipes in it. Yeah,
Yeah, and Patrick
I think I may
Swayze.
have seen it one time.
Yeah, that was a funny movie. I don't know. I'm gonna have to Google all these answers because I'm not gonna be
I
able to sleep tonight. So
maybe I'll insert some like context. I probably won't. That's a lot of work.
no, I'm gonna look it up so that way you can put like the
Comments it.
history lessons underneath in the thing.
Yeah.
So that way
There'll be a history blurb, or all you subscribers, all the million of you.
that one point in the video where we couldn't answer a question, that was the answer.
Oh yeah, have that like that that fact check thing popping on the side.
Yeah.
This is the reason. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know. We're recording on a Saturday. I think it's my first time recording on a Saturday. I know I recorded on a Friday one time, but I have some time to edit. Um,
When do you normally record?
Sunday.
Oh, why didn't you tell me?
That's fine. I'm fine. I'm
Oh, I
fine
wouldn't have
recording.
been able to do it
Yeah,
because of football
yeah.
practice.
You got practice, but I'm shoot. We can record on a Wednesday. I'm still gonna put it out on a Tuesday.
You
It
can put
just
it
get
out on Wednesday.
yeah. I just I'll be procrastinating the editing. But since we have three cameras, I may have to actually do this tomorrow. Um, but okay, so we got that. We got you coming out. It was a good experience. Great experience. However you want to classify it. We talked briefly months ago when I did the pod with my brothers, and you mentioned how me and my brothers have such a great relationship, and um I strive to keep that relationship with all my siblings. And you said that you didn't have that great of a relationship with one of your siblings. Is that
Yeah, my little brother. So, and that's the hard
okay?
part because there's four of us. We're all raised by a single mom. So I have my oldest sister who she just turned 39. We're 6 years apart, and then my other sister just turned 34. She's a year older than me.
Hmm.
And then we have our younger brother who is turning 30 this year, 29 or 30. I think 29 this year. So he's 6 years apart. And growing up, because him and I weren't too far apart, and I was like very much a tomboy. Him and I were pretty close. Like we watch wrestling every like Mondays and Thursdays, and we'd be fighting in the living room. Like that was our thing. But I also was really close with my sister, that's a year older than me, because we basically always had to share a room and everything. So like that's kind of like my twin in a way
Yeah.
growing up. And then my oldest sister, I had my own good relationship with her because it's just I don't know, it's just like the little sister wanting to be like the older sister to where like I learned she's the one pretty much like who introduced me to a lot of like music to at an early age to where I like to think I have a good taste in music, like full range and stuff like that. So I personally have had a decent relationship with each one of my siblings, but they never really had that same thing with one another. But just, like when you move, I moved in 2013, time starts to fly and then you get caught up in your own life as adulthood and stuff to where I think he was just navigating through high school, I was navigating through college. And we just slowly like grew distant because he was going through his own phases
Mm.
where no one could tell him anything and he wasn't making the best choices either. And I think I could see it now, but at the time I thought I was kind of just showing up as a big sister and trying to give it to him straight to like get his shit together. But I didn't realize that I was one of like many people, especially because he's the only boy growing up.
Mm.
He has my brother-in-law, my older sister's husband. He has him as a male figure in his life now, and like it's been like he's been in our family for a while, but it was something where he's never really had any steady male figure growing up. So he's always been in a house of women. And I could think about stuff like that now where I can only imagine how his perspective is, like growing up with a house full of women and stuff throughout his whole life. And then when he was in that those teenage years of like between 16 and 19 and he was just making like just mistakes basically. I think it was very easy for him to shut everyone out because he had like everyone coming at him, telling him to get his shit together and
Mm.
everything. And I think just it was easy for him to tune us out. And so I think every time I'd go back to visit, like he'd hug me and say he's happy to see me, but we couldn't talk about life or anything because it would the conversation would easily get dragged to like what he everything he's doing wrong.
Mm.
But not just for me, just in general, like the whole family sitting at the table, everyone's talking. And now that I think about it, I felt like he took a lot on. And so
Yeah.
like now I could see why we're not as close anymore because it's easier for him just to not talk to anybody than to want to hear people nagging.
Yeah.
And so I've tried to pretty much reach out on several, like always on my own just to talk to them. And he'll text back every now and then, but it's definitely something where that's kind of a priority in my life where he's definitely a relationship I'd want to
Make
grow.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like our mom's kind of like our anchor.
Mm.
And growing up with not with such a small family, God forbid anything happens to my mom, I definitely can see how easy it is for us to even drift further apart. And so I kind of want to like mitigate that and everything. I just want him to know that, I'm still his big sister.
Yeah.
And the same, like, I want my relationships to get better with all my other siblings just because, they're siblings. They're probably really the only other people that know probably like majority of the experiences that you went through too
Mm.
because you guys kind of almost shared it all. So,
Yeah. So he probably just felt isolated and
yeah.
not bullied, but bullied in a sense. And so he's just like, you know what? I'm just gonna do my own thing. But I do commend you for, trying to make it stronger. And I mean, you said he's 29 going on 30. I feel like most people will reach a point in life and be like, you know what? These are the only people I got. Let me make it stronger. So I hope he comes to that realization of, family is, always gonna be there for me, and hope that your relationship gets stronger. Uh, I refuse to let any of my siblings be distant. Uh, I think I initiate 90% of the calls, and I always call them on FaceTime because I gotta see y'all face. Uh, but just being present. I say presence a lot, especially when it comes to parenting. I mean, I'm not a parent, but I think presence matters. As long as somebody knows that you're, in their corner,
Yeah.
you'll be fine. They'll be fine.
Yeah. I appreciate that because I always, like, he never grew up with a male figure in his life, but neither did we to where I never really had like a male perspective to lean on and ask like how do you see it when someone's constantly nagging you about it or telling
Mm.
you what you have to do just because you're a man and so like this is what it means because I remember getting into it with my mom once where like my brother, he finally had started working, but it was like a call center job. And I just remember my mom like giving him a hard time because it was a job where he was sitting down all day. She's like, you should get a job, like a man's job, where you're out there working, building a house or something. And I was just like, girl, we live in Texas. Like,
Anybody trying to be out there in
yeah,
100
like
degree
he
weather
doesn't have to be
on a roof?
breaking like a sweat outside, like potentially harming himself. Like he doesn't have to. Like it's not back in the day and everything. Like
Yeah.
we've adjusted to social norms. Like
Right.
chill.
People,
But
some people don't even work nowadays. Shoot, they need to be happy with a McDonald's job.
yeah. So, but yeah, it's definitely as I get older, and also because I think about even though I would approach him in a certain way, it still would come off as criticism because it was.
Hmm.
And but each of my siblings, my sisters, we don't all have the same approach. We're all different. And like my mom's tough. One of my like both my sisters can be tough too to where they're not as nice when trying to deliver a message. Like they'll insult you while they're telling you something where I'm kind of like, hey, like I'll reach for your hand and be like, I gotta tell you something.
Yeah.
Well, at that time I don't think I was that gentle. But I feel like now I can understand that I can like I'm better at reading the room and delivering that message.
Yeah.
So it's a work in progress.
Do you think that a lot of the pressure towards your brother could be a cultural thing?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, are you? What is your ethnicity?
Well, kind of split. So we're like half Spaniard and Mexican indigenous.
Okay,
So
so
basically Mexican because we don't count the Spanish side. They're
okay.
colonizers. For real.
All right, so uh, stereotypical Hispanics tend to be hardworking laborers. So would you say that your mom, especially since your brother was working a desk job, is like, nah, you need to be building a house? Do you think that that was like a cultural thing? Like maybe her father was, a skilled laborer of some sort and was like, you're not being a
Well,
true Mexican.
yeah. So that's like the weird thing about it too, because like I said, we were raised by a single mom, and so is she, to where she never really had like a male role model in her life
Mm,
like that. But it was something where and kind of like the reason he is in a way is because that's her only son and that's her baby boy. Like the only reason she has 4 kids is because she kept trying for a boy. So that's her boy right there. But she definitely holds on to culture norms where she's big on serving the men, but like she also thinks men need to be the provider, and so they
mhm.
need to be out working, taking care of that part of the business, and she's like women should serve in a way. Not all women should serve, but it's like she's definitely open to just being the homemaker.
Yeah.
And so she did have that in mind, and that was something where I had to like sit her down and talk to, saying like, hey, like it's not he's not responsible for taking care of this whole
Mm,
household, and he has other things he needs to take care of in general. But I don't know, it's just one of those things that he also hasn't left the nest, so it's just I think he's very comfortable with my mom because
yeah.
that's her baby boy. But I also think she's like she's stuck in between coddling him and like giving him
You need to kick him out
yeah
the
to
nest.
like
Start
get going.
flying, my
And
guy.
so yeah, I think it's on both of them, but it's definitely it has to do with that Mexican culture where
Yeah.
like the moms really do spoil the little boys, but they also hold them to those standards. So I think it's one of those things where as long as he chooses to like be taken care of by my mom, he has to endure that type of criticism too. So except but you're not changing, you're choosing.
Yeah. And it's crazy that your mom.
She's a very loving
No,
woman.
I'm,
Which
I'm not. I'm
promise.
not. I'm not judging her out. But it's crazy that your mom would think that way towards like men needed to being the provider and having to be the provider herself for
Mm.
her children. And you said you're.
Well, it was a double standard for her because all my sisters and I, we all kind of got that speech about like once we finish high school, we need to start working or we need to leave
Mm,
or go to school because like there's no free rides here. My brother didn't get that speech,
so,
and yet he's the one that's still there. It's for a reason. That's what I'm saying. Like my mom's, it was a double standard. Like she was big on telling us like the importance of independence and everything, and
mm,
like making your own money. Don't let no one control you in general, and stuff like that. But when it comes to her son too. She's just
so it's
like,
just
he got me.
this is my baby.
Don't worry about him.
Alright, but that's crazy. So We touched on your family. We touched on you coming out. We touched on your work and everything. Let's. Where are we at? Well, this is gonna be a long one. But we'll wind it down. Here shortly.
Split it up into different episodes. I could talk. I just depends who I'm talking to for the
Yeah.
most part.
Uh, I think normally when I have conversations with people, it tends to go on. Uh, Especially, I mean, as long as you're intrigued in what they gotta say, and the conversation going somewhere, you're not getting talked at. Um, but as we touched on it at the beginning of the episode, it is Pride Month, and you are a member of the community. Is there anything you do specifically for Pride Month? Just to before you answer, February is Black History Month. I don't really do anything like Black Power, but I don't do anything. I mean, it's just another month for me. Not talking down on our history because Black history is American history. But do you do anything for Pride?
Um, Depends what mood I'm in, to be honest. Just because June, it's the summer, it's my birthday month. I'm usually already doing a bunch of things because my little cousin comes and spends the summer with us, so we always try to have things planned for him. So, if I do have time to squeeze in some Pride stuff, usually I'll go to the parade and everything. But a lot of the events, they're usually at bars and stuff, and well, like clubs and everything too, where it's just I'm not much of a drinker anymore. And as much as I do enjoy being at like Pride events and everything, if it's just a lot going on,
Mm,
I get overstimulated. And so for me, when I'm in like crazy, like overcrowded bars and stuff like that, I'm just like, I have to be really drunk so I can like focus and stay present with people. Or I'm just kind of, my social battery's just drained,
drained.
shut down.
Yeah.
Who I'm with too does make a big difference, but I rather like I like dive bars because they're chill. I can actually have conversations with people.
Hmm.
I think I'm just in that phase where like when I do meet people or if I go out to hang with friends, I want to catch up. I want to talk to you, see how you been, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
In clubs and everything, you can't hear nobody, so you're just standing there all awkwardly,
Trying to yell.
and then like you look up and it's like you see the light from everyone's phone screen everywhere, and you're just a lot going on.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
rather watch music videos at home.
I don't go out.
Nah.
Like if I go out, it's for a friend's event. But yeah, I'm not going out ever again. It's just not as fun. Like I loved going out in San Diego when I was in San Diego, especially with my cousin. Um, but it's just not. I don't get the same. It's the same feeling. It's not this. It's just different energy. It's different vibe. I get more protective when I go out. Like me and my brother, when I was driving to Texas after I got out the Navy, we stopped in New Orleans and we was having fun. Like we went out, we went on Bourbon Street, and we was having fun. And then the club got packed, and then somebody bumped my brother, and I was like, "Why you bump my brother?" And but I was also inebriated, and my brother realized that I was, feeling some type of way, so we left. But I get protective when I get drunk. I'm more aware of like everything.
I'm the same way when I'm out with my sister, the one that lives here. Granted, she's like the older sister, and she can very well take care of herself and
Mm,
everything. But like, if we go out together, and she's like, "I'm gonna go to the restroom real quick," I'm constantly just on the lookout, watching her make it to the restroom and coming back, because you just never know.
yeah,
And then I really have no reason to be that paranoid about stuff, but at the same time, it's just I can't help it. I think it's just a social anxiety thing. This is why I don't like going to overcrowded places
yeah,
sober because I can't help but focus on all the little things. And yeah, it's just, I don't enjoy it. And the same with drinking too. I think since I don't drink as much anymore and I'm kind of leaning towards just completely stopping, it's something where it's real. Like I realized I was only using it in those social type environments, and I should be able to just manage it on my own without
yeah.
any alcohol. As well as I just never felt good about myself after drinking, even if I wasn't hungover or anything. Just there's never been a time where I drank and I felt good about myself afterwards. So it's something where I'm like slowly cut off all the things that just don't serve me no more. So no more clubs, no more drinking, unless I'm celebrating someone's birthday.
Yeah.
Allie's the exception because I feel like Allie's the type to have a party at a club. So Allie will be the exception.
That karaoke thing was wild.
That was fun. That was really chill because it
It
was like a
was
closed
chill.
environment.
The wild part was the belly, the worm on that float. I'm like, girl, what are you doing? But it was very chill. It was a good event. I need to do something. So for my 31st, I don't plan on being in this state. I wanted to go somewhere for my 30th, but I don't plan on being here for my 31st. But maybe I'll throw something for, the friends either before I leave or after I get back.
When's your birthday?
December 13th. Mike's is the 15th, I believe. So, maybe we'll, do like a group thing.
Yeah. So like whenever Mike invites everyone to his house too, or Mike and Erica, like stuff like that. I love settings like that because even when there's a lot of people, it's still very like chill and everyone
Yeah.
can talk to everybody and stuff like that. But you guys should.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. That's interesting that you guys' birthday together. That'd be a cool
Yeah.
duo bash.
My backyard would be, extended by then, so maybe I'll, throw something for the backyard. And it's in December, so it won't be too cold or too hot.
That'd be fresh.
Yeah. Texas in December is like spring.
Yeah, like barely hoodie season.
Yeah.
If you're lucky, if it rains, you could wear a hoodie. The I didn't know you're just turning 31. I don't know why I thought you were older, but I think it's because you made a joke and I never picked up that you were joking to where I thought you and Cody were like the older ones on the team.
Cody's the oldest. I'm not that old. So I think it goes Cody, then Justin's coming back. So I think it's Justin
How's Justin?
38, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Or 37. So Justin, then Cody, then
I think it's me.
then you, yeah. And then I think me, and then I think it's Erica. I think it trickles down from there.
Yeah. That always throws me off playing football where a lot of the people I meet, like the ages range right at like 21 all the way to
Up there.
I met a 43-year-old. This was a couple years ago, so she's probably like 45.
Yeah.
And she's out there cooking, like running, cutting people. I think she played soccer her whole life. So stay active, people. I've seen the benefits,
Yeah.
but it's pretty interesting to see like the range of ages out there.
Yeah, she probably won't see this, but you know who Ambrosia is, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think she's like in her high 30s, low 40s, but she looks like she's like 25.
Yeah, yeah. And for the record, those aren't old ages either.
Yeah,
those are just the ages where you feel like body pain.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, they're not old, but they're sports old.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's rough.
like
Or someone on her team also is she's an older woman. She be killing it. I can't keep up with her.
well, I think V is like 40 something.
Mm-hmm. Um. Yeah.
If y'all see this by chance, cause I ain't that big, but if y'all see this by chance, I'm not knocking on y'all ages. I'm gonna talk to every count. I'm sorry. I'm not knocking y'all. Y'all are great athletes. It's just if I was that age and I did one dip, I'm probably not getting up.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel the limits at my current age, but I also wasn't an athlete growing up too, so that's why I think that's what I said, like, it's a great thing when you go out there on the field and you see who you're running up against, and it
Yeah.
just makes you realize you need to get it together and stay active, because, like, if they can do it, you could do it,
Yeah.
essentially, the potential's there, but, yeah, it hurts.
Yeah, I get a different injury every season. It goes from my hip to my back to my knee to my ankle. Right now it's my hamstring.
Yeah, I messed up my hamstring. It was pretty tight the last game.
Yeah. I gotta stop running, just start throwing. But yeah, we've touched on a lot of stuff. It's been a really really long, really good conversation.
I go off on tangents.
And it's fine. I go off on tangents all the time. Like, if you've been keeping up, especially for my solo ones, like, well,
Yeah.
I'm going on tangents. Let me stop. So I go on them all the time.
As long as you are like mindful and you're picking like the people you choose to follow intentionally, a lot of those followers are just gonna bleed over to you because they're gonna start seeing your content. And I mean, the good thing is you're putting out content where you're actually like getting some genuine discussions from people about mental health and all that stuff versus just I mean, there's so many people out there posting the same stuff about like men versus women debates and everything like that. So just as long as you're not trying to be like everyone else, I think that's the best way to stand out and show people a genuine side of social media and genuine conversations.
Yeah,
open those doors for them.
trying to remain authentic. What you see is me. Um, I'm here to help. And if you see this and you want to share it, you'll just help me help other people. And if I just help one person, I feel like I'm doing my job. Um, but um, I lost my train of thought on what I wanted to say past that. But you helped me remember one thing that we say at the end of every um pod is the main question. Uh, the title of the podcast is Chasing OK. You may have remembered it as everybody has one, but we are chasing OK because we are trying to live OK. Live OK is a small nonprofit company that I put together centered around mental health awareness. Everyone has or will encounter somebody that has a mental health issue. An issue, probably not the best word to come up with, but that's the word I'm choosing for right now. So I'm just trying to spread awareness to make sure everybody is okay. So, as my guest, the main question for that is, are you okay? If you're not okay or when you're not okay, how do you deal with being okay? How do you deal with not being okay?
um, I'm okay a good part of the time. Um, the times when I'm not okay, I think just where I'm at in life at this age, because of certain experiences and stuff, I really put an effort into trying to always take a step back whenever I'm feeling any type of way to see like what's triggering that for me and kind of just try to reflect to get a better understanding of why it's making me feel that way.
Mhm.
And I feel like that's allowed me to quickly learn when I'm not in an okay phase and to dial it back and to just kind of realign, which is usually, I'm usually not in an okay space whenever I start to notice things might be a little disorganized. Like, I'm usually a very tidy person, or if I'm not keeping up with like my healthy habits, like exercising and stuff, that's when it starts to go downhill. And so I think it's more of like whenever I'm not showing up for myself, that's when everything else starts to feel like it's even 10 times worse. And
Mm,
so am I okay most of the time? Yes, but it's because I've been practicing really hard to identify the triggers that send me down different spirals to where it just never works out. Like I always end up in a bad space and it takes a couple weeks to get out. And so it's like a fluctuating journey, but for the most part, I'm okay. But it's a lot of it's due to just like doing a lot of self help,
mhm.
reading, meditation, and all that stuff.
You're just trying to get yourself at a good point in life.
Yeah, and then also just kind of just removing anything that doesn't serve me. I feel like I spent a lot of my 20s always engaging in a lot of things just to be a part of a lot of things, especially because friends of mine were a part of stuff like that. So it's just where they were, I felt like that was my group. So I'd be in like, I'm not built to be in every place at once, and I'm very like I said, I'm a solitary person. So and once I learned that about myself, and I learned how to keep that balance of when I want to be around people, surround myself with like my favorite type of
Hmm.
people to be around, which is usually what I do with football and stuff like that. And then when I'm in a space where I know I need my own time and quietness and stillness and everything, I just go back and do like my everyday stuff, which is like going to. I kind of just lock in and just go into like a deep routine of waking up early, hit the gym, get ready for work, like fully get ready for work and go into the office versus just working from home and try to like lock in for like a few weeks and just building out like a strict routine.
Yeah,
And so this past because I've been doing that 75 hard, I just been locked in that routine. So I just been in a good spot lately
that's
and
good.
it feels great. It's like it really does where it's very easy for me to say no to things like alcohol or just saying no to certain social events because I'm like, it's not for me. Like,
Yeah,
I'd rather just sit at home.
I definitely shoot. When people cancel they events, I be so happy. I be like, yeah, I could just sit
Mhm.
here. Like, I
And
don't
it
gotta
sucks
talk to
because.
nobody.
And it sucks because there's times, well, if I commit to something, I'm going to show up to it unless something's really bothering me. But
Mm,
um, I just, when you learn to keep your social battery charged, especially if you're someone who does have like a social battery that tends to burn out quickly like me, it's definitely important to prioritize that. And essentially live a very like selfish life
mm,
where you're choosing just the things that serve you, the things that you want to do, learning to say no to the bad stuff, like fast food and all that stuff. That's still a work in project progress for me, but I will say with the 75 hard, just cutting out all that stuff, it's been a full, feels like a great reset.
Yeah, that's good. People need to practice selfishness, and
Mm.
not to the point where you ignorant, but you
Yeah,
know,
don't step on other
yeah,
people for your own needs, but just be selfish with your time,
yeah.
your effort.
Because once you learn to love yourself and love to live with yourself, then you can be perfect for everybody else. And I know I said perfect for everybody, but you don't need to, live for everybody else. Just love yourself, because not everybody is gonna like you. Shoot, you can be the nicest person in the world. There's somebody that doesn't like her. I'm nice to everybody on the flagpole field, but I know exactly who doesn't like me, and I don't know why. But
Fair
it
though.
that's life.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think one of the things I've learned too, and this is just kind of a result of like a heartbreak that I
Mm,
went through. But so like I know I'm saying a lot of stuff that sounds great, but it's been like a lot of trial and error since that breakup. And I mean, essentially, I've been single for like 5 years, but I've also been feeling like I was just locked in on myself, just going through motions,
mm.
trying to figure out who I am now in this phase of my life in my 30s. And so, and the one thing I learned is no one's gonna love you as much as you love yourself because no one knows you as much as you know yourself. So it's just you really do just gotta prioritize loving yourself first, and then everything that over pours from your own cup will fill into other people's. But unless your cup is overflowing, don't pour into other people selfishly in a loving way. Just that's
Gotcha.
my life tip.
I don't know if were you looking at yourself at
I
that
don't
point,
know where I was.
because this is your camera,
I
but
was
it's
yeah.
okay.
I feel throughout the
Nah,
whole. I've looked. I made connections all around. I
you,
feel like I was staring at you the whole time though.
no, you did good. But that is pretty much the. My eyes are getting low. I guess I've had too much of this. My eyes look low to you. Did they
Mm-mm.
start? I
Is
don't
it
know.
the whiskey? Was it good?
Maybe Yeah, it was good. It's smooth.
Oof.
It smells strong, but it's pretty smooth. Um,
It smells like put some hair on your chest.
um, I do appreciate. No, before I say my thank yous. Uh, so we asked the "Are you okay?" question at the end, and then we try to give the people some motivation. So you can look at this camera, you can look at that camera. Just give the world some motivation if you have it.
Mm,
Words of wisdom.
words of wisdom is what you're not changing, you're choosing. So just think about it. I feel like that's a answer to every question in your life. If you're asking like why is this happening to me, or why didn't this work out, or why is this person this way, like but you're not changing, you're choosing. I feel like when you really look back at the things that bother you, you had plenty of chances to change something in there that would change the whole ending of it, but a lot of times it's just trial and error. So, what you're not changing, you're choosing. Make better choices and love yourself.
Great words of motivation, even though she was looking at herself the whole time.
There's like four cameras.
It's all good. I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you talking about your journey through life, your coming out, your story, uh, and just going on tangents with me, because that's what we do on Chasing OK. We go on tangents. I'm looking at myself. I don't know what camera I need to be looking at. Um, but I do appreciate you. If you do have any uh worries in life, you ever need me for any point in time for anything, I hope you know that you can always call on me. If I'm in Texas, if I'm in Alaska, I'll be there for all my people. And I'm glad to call you my people. But you can cheers with your little sparkling drink. But I appreciate you. Do you have anything else to say?
I do have a bit of stuff to say.
Oh, go
Well,
ahead.
one, just I appreciate you. I feel like I kind of found like a good football team or a home. Like when I got transferred to your guys' team after like my second season in Ivy,
Hmm.
I felt like I just really fit in with you guys, and you guys are just a good bunch. I think you guys called yourself the Misfits, and it's funny because every one of you guys are so different from each other, but at the same time, you guys we all just mesh really well together, and it just works. And so, I appreciate the openness, and you guys always accepted me as a new player and letting me keep coming back. And then, can I shout out BVB?
Oh, yeah, do it. Go ahead. Do shout it out.
Okay,
Or
so
this is your camera. If you want to talk to it, or you can talk to everybody.
link in bio. It's not an OnlyFans link. I'm sorry,
Mhm.
but it's for a good cause. It's for BVB Dallas. It's an organization that helps raise money for Alzheimer's research. All of the beneficiaries are local and stuff like that. What we're doing is our goal is to raise 300,000 this year. Individually, each player has to raise $1,500 to play at a game or in a game back in August. And so, for those who are looking for more information on Alzheimer's research or know anybody who might need more information just because they're currently dealing with it, the link in my bio will take you to a page where you can get more information on it, as well as it will take you to a page where you can donate money to the cause, as well as help me reach my goal of $1,500 so I could play in the big game where it's pink versus blue. Together, we'll tackle Alzheimer's. Oh, shop LiveOK.
Yeah, LiveOK. The website is different. I don't know if you've been on it, but the website is different. It's not as great as I wanted. The dry fits will be on there by the time this episode airs. I bought them. I just gotta take the pictures, do everything. But the dry fits will be on there, so buy a dry fit. I'm gonna start a league. Just to let y'all know, it's gonna happen. It's gonna be great. Just to spread more awareness. I don't know if you said it, but BVB is all ladies. Ladies versus ladies.
Yes, all ladies flag football.
Yeah, and it's exciting. It's fun. I've been to 2 games and I've donated the past 4 or so years. Um, so yeah, click the link in bio. Buy a ticket if you're in the Dallas area. Go to the game, support, do great things. Do you have anything else to say?
Don't forget to follow BVB Dallas so you can keep up with all the local fundraising they do, because they also go to local breweries and restaurants and do fundraising events there as well, car washes, as well as they'll keep you posted on the game day events and everything like that. And June is my birthday month, so if y'all want to give me a birthday gift, just donate to my charity.
Perfect. Other than that, she said it. But also for this channel, like, follow, share, subscribe, do all the great things, hit all the buttons below.
Check the bio.
Yeah, do great things.
Be ready.
But again, I appreciate you. Thanks for coming on. And that has been the episode. Love. It was empty.
Yeah, it was.
She cheers me with an empty
There was
drink.
like a little left.
Thanks for listening to the Ramblings of a Madman. If you want to come on and have a conversation, feel free to message me at the email in the bio. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Life is about choices. It would be great if you choose to like, share, and subscribe. Stay safe and be great.
Ain't perfect, but ain't no complaining. I know my shit is different. I just can't explain it. Food for thought.